What's going on, everybody? You know what it is, and by now you should know who it is. It's your girl, Rain. Of course, today is Tuesday. Well, tonight's Tuesday, so that means that it's TNT time. Tried and tested Tuesday. It is fairly late. I do apologize. I got caught up in looking at um different video clippings, or shall I say, footage of one of my all-time favorite artists, period, is the X Gonna Give It To You. So I want to dedicate this particular episode to his family, his children, his ex-wife, his fiance, his mother, his siblings, and all of the lives and souls that he touched and graced and encouraged and all of those good things. Um, what drew me to him as a young girl, I was that kid that was in awe of him when he first opened his mouth. Just his raw and transparent and gritty um demeanor. What's up, sis? Demeanor and his unapologetically ex persona. Um, what I loved about him was that he challenged everything that America said should not be welcomed into your home, or um, he stood up in a way that other artists, I believe, had tried but could not just put the finger on the pulse of what we all, as melanated children, were going through, were feeling, were dealing with. So he will forever be one of my favorite artists, if not the most favorite, no matter what genre of music it is. Um, and his story is one that makes me feel motivated to keep doing what I'm doing. Makes me feel motivated to keep being true to who I am. And if I have to say that he taught me one thing, he taught me to dare to be original, dare to be extraordinary, dare to be different, um, dare to use my voice by any means necessary. Um, so I bow to him. Um, and again, I pray for his family. I pray for the state of New York, um, and all those good things. Second of all, this episode is dedicated to all of the souls that have lost their life to some form of injustice. I need to make a rain service announcement that this episode will probably not be one of the favorite episodes. It will not be one of the happy go lucky episodes. It will not be an episode that you might want to show your children, unless you want to show your children the episode in order to teach them something about the way our world is right now. This episode is dedicated to, like King T talked about on his um, message today, his morning inspiration, that I call it morning inspiration, that he does every morning and he sends out. He was saying how um, the Wright family were robbed of one of their flowers by injustice in the hands of police, right? Policing. So, of course, I send love, light, prayers, positivity, strength, peace, and all of that to the right family. Um, but like King T was saying, and he said it so eloquently and in a way that he always tends to do, is that there's so many of our people, melanated people, who have lost their lives right before the Wright family lost their loved one, right before the late George Floyd lost his life, right after George Floyd lost his life, that no one is talking about. No one seems to care about. Um, a little while ago, I watched my fairy plant mother at I Am Tabitha Brown show her heart and say her part about humanity in a whole. How oftentimes we as peacemakers or we as those who want to see the glass half full still have moments where we're angered, still have moments where we're sickened, still have moments where our spirits are down because for me, I'm an empath. Certain things of that magnitude get to me in a way that most normal people probably wouldn't. It might not affect them the same way. But if I have to be honest, more than angry. I'm really disappointed because even though I know, you know, being a church girl, and being a Bible reader, Bible studier, even though I know that these things are to come to pass, I was one of those people that just never thought that I would be alive to even see anything like what's been happening. I feel like we have to start using our voices. We have to start putting actions behind our words. It's time for us to say enough is enough. It's time for us to start to speak out without fear of what's to come because being quiet is not has not been serving us very well because we're still losing our men, we're losing our women, we're losing our next and new generations. um, we are being annihilated by the system that says they're here to serve and protect us in a country where we basically build it from the ground up. Let's just keep it real. So, how do we, as a people, as a culture, as an ethnicity, begin to get our how do we get our footing back? How long are we going to be quiet? How long are we going to allow knees on necks, um, accidental shootings? Um, oh, I was afraid that she or he or they were going to harm me. Well, they had on a hoodie or they had on saggy, baggy pants and they were going into their pocket when I asked for them to give me some type of identification. So I didn't know what they had, so I just shot first and asked questions later. When are we going to speak? Um, I am at a loss of words, which is very rare. The world protested after George Floyd. The world. Yet we still have melanated people being executed by the dozens pretty much every day. And like my fairy plant mother said, we shouldn't have to be afraid to leave our houses and go to the grocery store or go to the gas station and get Powerade or Skittles or an Arizona tea in a can or cigarettes or pick up our medication. We shouldn't have to endure stares or the fear of being pulled over. Society might feel like we shouldn't be driving, or we're pulling into a neighborhood that society feels like we shouldn't be living in, or we shouldn't have to pull up to a restaurant to get food to eat and wonder if this is a whites only facility. I myself, not too long ago, celebrating my graduation, felt like I was in the colored section. Felt like, oh, this must be a white only restaurant. Should we be in here? A few nights ago, we pull up to get something to eat, and we wondering, like, I don't see no melanated people coming out of here. I don't see any colored people coming out of here. But I'm at the point to where I don't care if it's whites only. If I want to eat there, I'm gonna eat there. Um, it should not be that way. Like my favorite plant mother Tabitha Brown was saying, she's a household name, and she still goes into a store to purchase something, and people are still looking at her like, I wonder if she's going to steal. It should not be that way. So my tried and tested is just one and the same. The enemy is trying it, and I believe that he might feel like he has won the battle because we are saying nothing. We are few and far between the ones that are speaking up and speaking out and rallying for a change. And it takes more than the few of us that are willing to say, no matter what, by any means necessary, that this has got to stop. This is not okay. It is not okay to wonder if my brothers, my son, my grandsons, my granddaughter, um, my nieces and nephews, my cousins, my mother, my father, or if they are going to come back home because of the color of their skin, because I remember when I was married to my first husband, at my husband's funeral, it was, I believe it, yeah, at my husband's funeral, my family pulls up. My family has been blessed and highly favored by the Lord. So they pull up in their vehicles and everybody's wondering, who in the heck is that? I was, I guess I want to say colorized or discriminated against in my own by my own in-laws. My mother-in-law used to feel like I thought I was better than my husband because of the way I carried myself, because of the way I dressed, because of the way I took care of myself, because of the way I spoke. So it's bad enough that we have colorism in our own communities, but to have to still deal with racial divide, racial injustice, um, a misuse of power, and superiority complexes between the law enforcement and us, the people who pay our taxes to pay their salaries, have to be afraid if our children are going to come back home by just going around the corner to the corner store, to the dollar store, to the grocery store. So how do we stop this? How do we get some type of gap? Because one minute it feels like one minute it feels like we're moving forward. Excuse me. And in a way, I feel like they allow us, or feel like they allow us to have certain victories to try to take the eye off of what they're doing behind closed doors, or what they feel like is behind closed doors. They allow us to have Madam Kamala Harris as our vice president, but you're still killing us. You're still raping us. You're still making us your maids. You're still trying to make us your field hands. It's just bananas to me. And then it even goes back to DMX. May he rest in peace. You know, social media was putting the man, the beautiful spirit that he is, already gone, and he's fighting for his life. And had that been someone that was not melanated, I don't ever recall these type of situations happening to someone that wasn't melanated. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't recall seeing it in my lifetime. I do not recall having this type of unrest, this type of it's kind of a sadness. It's sort of it feels out of body. That things that my father taught me about as a little girl when they had to go to segregated schools, things that I watched as a little girl coming up. I remember, you know, watching reruns of the I Have a Dream speech at my grandparents' house. I remember in school they showed us the eyes on the prize, and I remember being the only melanated person in the room, male or female, and everybody's turning to look at me like, how are you taking this movie? You know, I remember having to have a lot of fights because I was the only melanated person in my class. And I might have made better grades than some of the people that were not melanated. Um, I was always the biggest, person in my biggest girl for sure in my class. I remember colorism in the midst of the few melanated people that went to my schools. Um, it's just a lot. I'm all over the place when it comes down to tonight's episode. Like I said, I would just feel like enough is enough is enough is enough. Please take your knee off our neck. Take your hands from around our throats. Stop feeling like you gotta pull out your Glock or your nine every time you see us. We are not paying y'all no mind. We are not doing anything but being regular humans just like any of you are. So many of us have paid our debt to society if we needed to. Stop taking our men, our children, and putting them in the CPS system so that you can take them and use their organs to try to make you a super saiyan type person. You know, you claim to hate us so much, but you want to be just like us. Your women go and get injections in their lips. Some of them who are not secure in being themselves, they want to go get injections in their butt to have butt like us. Half of y'all want to sleep with us. I mean, I love everybody, no matter, what shade of skin you have, what type of hair you have, um, what type of body structure you have. But I just want to be clear. I am power to the people with no delay. I wear my hair locked up because I'm a rebel without a cause. I have always been that type of girl. I agree with what Tabitha Brown said when she said, if you are not melanated, you need to ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Why do I act this way? When she said that, it's like as if I could have ran around the house praising God because it's the honest biblical truth. It Like Michael Jackson said, it starts with the man in the mirror. It starts with you. It starts with me. It starts with us. We need to have conversations about this because it's time for us to take a stand. The one time in history, well, not even one time, every time in history, when we as a people take a stand, we can make change, even if that change does not last a long time. But now we have certain types of tools. We have certain types of lawmakers where we can actually make a change and it can actually stick it will stick when we make it stick. When we stop accepting apologies, fake apology, when we stop accepting apology. But we have to do this. It takes us as a people unified Like the mama on Soul Food said, we can take those fingers and put them together and we can make a fist and we can strike a mighty blow. It's time for us to become those fists. It really is time. I just don't understand. It's almost like the movie Hunting Season. It seems like we are the prey. But I remember on a lot of the different Animal Planet type shows that I would watch, and yes, I like to watch Animal Planet type things. I like to watch National Geographic type things. Eventually the prey become the predator. So it seems like since we are the hunted, or so it seems, then we need to start adapting to be the hunter. And I'm not saying go rogue and just start doing the same thing to them as they do to us. No, I'm not saying that. But I am saying that it's time for us to start speaking up, speaking out. We need to start rallying together. We need to start having like town hall meetings in our own communities and figure out how we can make sure that we stop allowing this type of social injustice, racial injustice to keep going. It needs to stop. It has to stop. Or we will cease to exist. We will cease to exist if this does not stop. Because if this doesn't stop, what's going to happen is the ones that they don't kill off, they're going to put in prison. And we are not sure if they will ever return. Women will be left to continue to be the mother and the father. It's going to continue this vicious cycle. And it's disheartening. But I do believe that we still have a chance. We still can change things. We can still stop this. I do believe that evil should not win when it comes to this particular situation. I know it's late. I did not want to miss TNT. Like I said, I really don't have a whole lot to say because truly I am speechless. Truly I am heartbroken. Like I have brothers, you know. I have a father, I have a grandfather, I have cousins, I have uncles, I have nieces and nephews, you know. I remember when my nephew was attacked by the police. They sat uh they unleashed a German Shepherd on him. He could have been killed. And It was horrible. When my brother was beat to death, I truly believe that the police officers on the scene left him there on purpose. I believe they turned a blind eye on purpose. It's just crazy that in 2021 we're still dealing with this. The year has barely started and so many have lost their lives already. So many. And probably so many more will before this night is even over with. It's sad. It's unnerving. It makes me angry. Doesn't make me hopeless. It doesn't make me feel hopeless. It doesn't make me lose faith. It makes me want to try to figure out how I can do my part. And I'm starting by doing this, what I'm doing right now. I'm starting by speaking on it on this particular platform that God blessed me with. It's time for us to come together. It's time for us to speak up and speak out. It's time for us to get busy and take action. Um, it's time for us to get some legislation changed. It's time for us to get some constitutional um, amendments changed. It's time for us to truly have some true equality. It just doesn't make sense because if the shoe's on the other foot, we need to be having this conversation. If the shoe's on the other foot, let's just keep it real. So, y'all holler at your girl in the comments, in the inbox, smoke signal, in my email. Let's have some town hall meetings. Let's have some Zoom conversations. Let's have some virtual meetups if we need to. Let's talk to our city and state officials about how do we stop this? How do we do our part? How do we stop policing? How do we get Washington to actually, for real, truly change the way law enforcement picks the police officers? How do we get them to change um, the way that they might enter into a home or approach a home or approach a vehicle or whatever the case may be? We need to we need to start trying to work together to figure out how we make a change, how we stop our young boys and young girls and our men and our women from being executed in broad freaking daylight in any given second, any given moment, on any day of any week, of any month, of every year. How do we need to stop it? How do we stop that? What do we do? What is it that we can do? How do we come together? Makes no sense. It's senseless. It's heartless. It's insensitive. It's wrong. It's wrong. And it just has to stop. It needs to stop. It should not be this way. We shouldn't even be having this conversation right now. Like, it does not make any sense whatsoever. It's immoral. It's immoral. It's insane. It's insane. I'm at a loss of words, y'all. I'm at a loss of words. We are all human beings. We are all created equal by God Himself. He made us all human. It just makes no sense. So, you know what it is. You should know who it is. It's your girl, Rain. It is TNT Tuesday. It's the Randomly Rain Show. Your girl is just baffled. I'm baffled. I'm tired. I'm frustrated. I'm angry. Um, I'm hurt. I'm burdened down. I am motivated. I'm inspired to try to figure out how I do my part. What is it that my one voice, my one mind, my two hands, my 10 fingers and 10 toes, and what is it that I myself can do to be a part of the solution and stop being a part of the problem? You already know how I'm coming. Deuce out the roof. You already know what I'm going to say. We need to learn how to love. Love covers such a huge, elaborate gamut of things. You have to love God, love each other, love each other, love each other, love yourself. You can't love anyone if you don't love yourself. I don't care what position you hold. If you hold a position, if you do not have the right heart, you do not know how to love yourself, you will not never know how to love somebody else. So then, therefore, you're not good for anybody, not even yourself. So you have to learn how to love God, love each other, and love yourself. It costs absolutely nothing to love. Have to pay nothing to love. If we give each other a little more love and a little more love and a little more love, we can change society right now in an instant, in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, like it says in the good book. If we learn to just love and stop hating, stop letting fear push you to do things that are immoral and wrong. If we learn to love, we can change our society. We can change and save our communities. And we can change the world. We can make the world a better place. And all we need to do is learn how to love each other. I'll see y'all in a couple of shakes of a rabbit's tail. I think I want to have a group conversation about this topic. I would love to be able to do it with all different skin colors, cultures. Um, I really would love to do that. So I'm gonna see how I can work that out. But I got medicine to take, and I gotta get some rest if I can. And see y'all in a couple of shakes of a rabbit's tail. Man, I love y'all. Love, love, love all you rainbows. And Deuce out the roof. I gotta go. I'm out. Rest in power. Rest in peace to DMX and all those that have lost their lives to social injustice, police brutality, to COVID, um, just bereaved all the way around. Um, much love to their families, and my heart goes out to the Wright family and all the families of those that lost their lives in Shreveport and Houston, San Antonio, all over the world. Um, yeah, it's your girl Rain, and I'm out. It's time for us to speak up and speak out. So get with your group and figure out how we do that. I love y'all. Gotta go.